time of the inaugural Mountain West Championship game. Fresno State jumped out to a 17-0 lead, but the late touchdown by Utah State has made this a ball game. The start of the second half is coming up from Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California.
Gets by one, gets by another at the pylon, and he's in. Touchdown! Carr puts the ball on the ground, scooped up by Utah State. Downey, the distance, and what a turnaround in this ball game!
Start of the third quarter at Bulldog Stadium in Fresno, California. The hometown Bulldogs have a 10-point lead. Let's go down to the sideline. Allie LaForce is with Matt Wells.
Coach Garrettson sacked 4 times. How do you do a better job of protecting your freshman quarterback?
Well, we got to be a little bit more efficient on first down so we don't get in some of those third and long situations.
After that fumble recovery going into the half, I mean, it narrowed this game to a 10-point game. You guys are in this. What was your message at the half?
Yeah, I think we've got a little bit of energy and some excitement right now. We got to take this opening kick and go down and get points out of it.
Good luck in the second half. Thanks, Coach.
Here's a look at the first half stats, and you can see Utah State held in check offensively. Fresno State with the 324 yards of offense, but they're only up by 10. Back in the booth with Aaron Taylor, I'm Andrew Catalon. Utah State with that late defensive touchdown in the first half completely changed his ball game. And as Matt Wells just said, a critical drive to start this second half. Aaron, how do they get their offense going?
I think they need to put this game on their senior-laden offensive line. Run the football. You heard Matt Wells say it. They're not having the success on first and second down that they need to be able to stay in front of the chains. If you do that, Andrew, you get yourself into a rhythm and you continue to allow your quarterback to have some opportunities to throw the football down the field along the sidelines. We saw Garrettson start to press there. He threw the interception. He could have thrown another interception. If they're going to win this game, they need to take some of this pressure off number 6 by running the football.
Just 8 yards rushing in the first half for Utah State, but they only trail by 10, and they'll get the ball to start here in the second half. Glover right fields the second half kickoff from his 4-yard line, and he gets across the 25. Penalty flag flies in.
Well, the second half starting the way that the first half did, and that's with some laundry on the ground.
Here's Reggie Smith.
During the return, holding receiving team number 70, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the defensive lineman Travis Seafelt, so that'll back up the Aggies a bit. And here's a look at Utah State's first half possessions. It was not pretty. The interception was poorly underthrown by Darryl Garrettson. Nothing has really clicked offensively for the Aggies. See if they can start on a positive note here in the second half. The inaugural Mountain West Championship game. On the ground to begin with Joey DiMartino. And Tyler Davison, the nose guard, makes the tackle.
One of the things that you'll see Utah State do is run some zone read. They don't like to run Garrettson much. Remember, he's filling in for Chucky Keaton, so they're pretty thin at that quarterback position, but he does have some mobility. At some point, we may see Garrettson's legs here in the second half.
Did not see the Wildcat in the first half either. Wonder if they go to that in the second half. Something else to keep an eye out for. Pressure coming from the edge. Garrettson sees it, steps up, has some room, and slides down at the 26-yard line. A 10-yard pickup for Garrettson. And in that run, Garrettson gets more yards than the Aggies had the entire day on the ground.
And it was a good decision because it was pretty good coverage that time behind the pressure from Fresno State. Nobody's there. Tuck it and run. The middle of the field is wide open there. Just as we said it, are Garrettson's legs. They need to do more of that. If Fresno State's going to blitz, you have to make them pay.
First down run for Garrettson. Keeps it again and slides for a yard.
Early on in this drive, we saw zone read with a keep read there. Garrettson sliding pretty early. I think he's been instructed to take what he can get and what the defense gives you, but under no circumstances can they afford to get number 6 hurt. And he slid pretty early on that last one as a result.
One of 21 true freshmen to start at quarterback this year. Daryl Garrettson 5-0 as the starter. DiMartino across the 30. And down to the 33-yard line. I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Fresno State defensive line. They've had a good push all night long.
Yeah, there's no question. They're controlling the line of scrimmage up front, particularly in the pass, but also in the run. But also Utah State hasn't committed to that run. But this is a salty group with a lot of pride. If you want to win championships, you got to be able to win at the line of scrimmage. This is a big third down. Remember, Matt Wells said they needed to come out here and get something going. If nothing's there, will Garrettson use his legs?
2 for 8 on third downs in the first half. Garrettson, feel the heat, and he goes down. Donovan Lewis with the sack, number 6 on the night for the Bulldog defense.
Well, this is just left tackle Kevin Wimpy right here. Donovan Lewis is going to come off that outside edge. They love his ability to be able to rush the passer, but in slide protection, he just gets beat on a stab move. And number 27, getting his 5th sack of the year, making his name be known and his presence felt off the edge.
Bentrude punts it away for the Aggies. Burse moves back to the 25. Burse running right. Nowhere to go. And Burse is hit hard at the 28-yard line. A 49-yard punt from Bentrude. The Fresno State defense holds serve to open up this second half. The 6th sack of the night of number 6. Bulldogs up by 10. Thursday on CBS, Academy Award winner Robin Williams and Sarah Michelle Gellar star in a new episode of The Crazy Ones. Thursday at 9/8 Central, only CBS. Aaron Taylor was one of those crazy ones back in the day when it was cold, no sleeves, Mr. Tough Guy.
Yeah, man, you can't let the other dudes across the line of scrimmage think you're soft. Plus, I enjoyed playing when it was cold. Kind of slowed everything down, became a physical game, much like it's going to probably need to become here. But Fresno State, they will take to the air again because that's their strength.
Good battle in the trenches so far. Quezada nowhere to go on first down. B.J. Larson, who opened up the game with a sack, makes the tackle.
As much as both of these teams will throw and have taken some deep shots, the big explosive plays have come into play. Fresno State leads the conference in explosives, coming into tonight's games with over 80 plays over 20 yards.
Carr was at 304 passing yards in the first half. Goes to the air here. Looking deep. Intercepted. Picked off by Brian Sweet. Third interception of the season for Brian Sweet, and the Aggies get the ball right back.
That's a great way to start this second half by Brian Sweet, making a huge play. Utah State, the conference's best defense, coming up making a big play. It's the conference championship here on CBS. Who will find a way to get it done?
The Home Depot College Football on CBS is sponsored by Bank of America, Cadillac, Taco Bell, and by USAA. Back in Fresno, where Tim DeRuyter, the head coach of the Bulldogs, not too happy after that last pick by Derek Carr. Let's take a look at the coverage.
He's worried about the aggressiveness of Tay Glover Wright, wondering if there was contact impeding the receiver's ability of Burst to be able to go up and get that football. And Brian Sweet just reading it. A lot of air underneath that football, and you'll notice at times that Derek Carr will loft those on the fade routes.
Good field position for the Aggies. Garrettson looking deep on first down. Has a man, and it's incomplete. Trying to connect with Brandon Swindle on the deep ball, and coverage on the play from Jonathan Norton.
And remember, Travis Reynolds is not playing tonight, so Daryl Garrettson's having to go to guys that are just dropping footballs that simply should be caught. Garrettson there wanting some pass interference, but that ball hit Swindle right in the numbers. That's a couple big drops for that young man.
That's a matchup they might want to expose. Swindle's 6'4", Norton's 5'6". Second down run for Robert Marshall. That's his first carry of the night. Marshall, more of the bruising fullback type for the Aggies. A change of pace from Joey DiMartino.
Yeah, they call him the closer. He's a big physical back, 6 foot, 220 pounds. Brings much more of a physical element. Utah State able to stretch the field and go vertically with some speed in the pass game. Maybe they get Marshall and try and ground it out here a bit.
Marshall on 3rd and 4, pushed back. The Fresno State defense has done a tremendous job at the line of scrimmage. Wilson and Mickelson combining on that tackle.
Utah State, you think about all the opportunities they've had. They dropped that ball by Swindle. Now they're going to be forced to punt here after a huge turnover. The defense, Andrew's keeping this team in the game, but the offense simply isn't finding a ways to capitalize on it.
Bentrud did have one fake punt run for 72 yards this year. It went for a touchdown. It's 4th and 2. Burse is back deep for Fresno State. Bentrud will kick, angling to the right. Burse calls for a fair catch at the 11. And that's where the Bulldogs will take over on offense. Well, tomorrow the NFL on CBS Day is locked into the playoff pulse. In one matchup, Alex Smith and the Chiefs take on RG3 and the Redskins. Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins battle Big Ben and the Steelers, or the Titans take on the Broncos. Check your local listings, beginning with JB, Dan, Coach, Shannon, and Boomer on the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. So the interception by Carr does not come back to hurt the Bulldogs. They get the ball back with 9:51 to go in the 3rd quarter. Right back to the air to Burse. And Burse is tackled immediately. Fackrell and Quentin Bird.
Love the way that Fackrell played that. He didn't bite on it right away. He let things clear out. He was patient and kind of corralled it. Once he saw the ball in the receiver's hands, then he broke on it, stopping him for no gain.
Last week, Fresno State had 41 points in the first half, and Carr threw 6 touchdowns. Different story this week against this stingy Utah State defense. Carr to Burse, makes the catch at the 25. Glover right wraps him up at the 29, but that's good for a first down.
Yeah, that time Isaiah Burse just pushing upfield, coming back to the football. They've been taking so many deep shots that Tay Glover Wright was expecting them to go deep, and Burse ran a good route there and came back to the football, picking up the first down.
18 yards for Burse. First and 10.
Yep.
Pizzata runs into his own line and gets a half a yard on the play. Zach Vigil makes the tackle. What a story. Vigil, the junior, and his redshirt freshman brother Nick, both starting at linebacker tonight. There's Nick, who moved into a starter role after Terrell Thompson went down earlier. And yes, their parents are here in attendance. 8:20 to go, 3rd quarter. Carr throws, and are they going to give that to Sweet? I think he got it. It is a catch, and another interception for Brian Sweet. There is a penalty marker down at the 27-yard line, right near the line of scrimmage. What a play by Sweet to get the foot down. Now we'll take another look at it, and also Reggie Smith has to sort out the penalty. At home this season, Carr with just 1 interception.
The result of the play is an interception. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness by the intercepting team, number 56. 15 yards will be enforced from the dead ball spot. Utah State keeps the ball, 1st and 10.
So the penalty's on Pataya-Li'i, but give the interception, his second of the quarter, to Brian Sweet.
Andrew, this high-octane offense that started so good, these last 4 possessions haven't been all what you would expect them to be. Utah State, the conference's best defense, finding ways to make plays. That was just before halftime. Jake Downey with the touchdown, finding ways to get it done. But the offense simply struggling to capitalize on it.
Aaron, this year in 6 home games, Derek Carr threw 1 interception. He has 2 in this quarter, including this phenomenal catch from Brian Sweet.
Great catch going up like his wide receiver got both his feet in. That would have been an interception in the NFL. But clearly miscommunication between Derek Carr and his receivers on that interception.
See if the Aggies can capitalize. They were not able to do so earlier in the quarter after the Sweet interception. 2nd down and 7. Garrettson to Van Leeuwen, out route to the 45, gets away from 1, and is brought out right at midfield. A 1st down for the Aggies. 12-yard gain for Van Leeuwen, the senior out of Provo, Utah, not Spain.
It seems like when they want to get Daryl Garrettson going, they use short, controlled passing game, that quick game, maybe towards the edge in the perimeter, because he likes to throw those quick outs, and he's pretty good at it, as we saw in that last one.
3rd catch for Van Leeuwen, 1st down and 10. DiMartino gets away from 1 and picks up a couple on the play. Patrick Sua making the tackle. He had a big game last week at San Jose State, a season high, 6 tackles.
I'm wondering why Utah State's not running any screens. With all the edge pressure that Fresno State is doing, if they can hit a screen into a blitz off the edge, they can hit their head on the goalpost.
Garrettson to Swindle, and that's going to be a couple of yards shy of a 1st down. But this is the first time tonight, Aaron, that there's a little bit of rhythm with this Utah State offense.
And it seems like they're slowing it down a bit. Remember, Utah State's an offense that likes to hit the gas pedal and go quickly. Sometimes you need to stop and take a breath. Offense, as you mentioned, Andrew, is a lot of times about rhythm. And when you run an up-tempo pace, it can make that difficult sometimes.
3rd down and 2, trying to keep the drive alive.
Here comes pressure.
DiMartino running right side, trying to push forward. And he's going to be a hair short. He didn't get it, but Matt Wells is keeping the offense on the field.
And there was penetration off that backside that flashed. And just great push, and once again, controlling the line of scrimmage. But if you're Utah State, this is the closest you may get to the end zone. You got to get this.
DiMartino dragged down, and he stopped short. The Fresno State defense holds again. The nose guard, Tyler Davison, makes a huge play.
That's Tyler Davison over one of the players that we highlighted, and Tyler Larson, Fresno State, taking on Utah State Aggies, controlling the line of scrimmage, making up for that debacle they had last week against San Jose State. Can Derek Carr and this high-powered offense respond?
This year.
Derek Carr's interception once again does not come back to haunt his team as the defense comes up with a huge stop on 4th down and 1. Matt Wells not happy with his offensive line, and it's hard to blame him, Aaron. This is the heart and the soul of their team, and they've been getting whooped tonight.
Yeah, particularly that left side. We saw Kevin Wimby give up a sack that last play. Simi Talavea getting some penetration. The offensive line just simply can't let guys cross your face because it throws everything off. And that time, it was Fresno State that showed the Utah Aggies what it's like to take control of the line of scrimmage.
How many chances can you give Derek Carr now? 5-2 to go, still has the 10-point lead. Burse has some space, got a big block. Burse to midfield. This has been a hard-hitting battle tonight. Burse with 9 yards.
That's just Aaron Peck on Kyler Fackrell. Kyler Fackrell's got to get his head on a swivel. He had no idea that Peck was coming from outside in. You have to be able to sense that as a defender.
Derek Carr told us yesterday that Peck, with his size, reminds him of Terrell Owens with that freakish size that he has. And you saw a big block there from the 6'3", 211-pounder as that one goes incomplete.
Yeah, and that time he got a little bit of alligator arms himself because Jake Dowdy was hunting him up on that shallow cross. Seemed like he anticipated some contact there. After he gave some wood, he didn't want to receive some.
Can the Aggies defense come up with a stop on 3rd and 1? And the answer is no. First down, Bulldogs.
Fresno State's had a lot of success all night long on the Aggies, being able to run those type of plays. They tie up the defensive linemen, and by the time the linebackers get there, it's just too late. They've gotten the yardage that they need.
Martez Waller moves the sticks, 1st and 10. Waller again. It's across the 45. And the tackle's made at the 42-yard line.
Utah State has to make sure that it stays and gets its run fits. There were a lot of people bunched up. And that time, Waller was able to hit backside using his vision. That's where the big plays happen, is when you have those cutbacks to the backside.
They stack receivers to either end. They give it to Peck in space, has some room down the sideline. And Aaron Peck has a first down.
Bubble screens are such an important part of this offense. Derek Carr gets rid of this football, throws it where Peck has a chance to be able to get it. Nick Mitchell, Zach Mitchell's brother, was in that time. It took a poor angle, which is why the Bulldogs were able to get a first down.
Peck had 3 catches the entire season. He has 4 tonight, stepping up admirably for the injured Josh Harper. Waller inside, stuffed. Jake Dowdy pushing him back.
Okay, now if you're Utah State, that's exactly the way you needed this fresh set of downs to start. 2nd down. Now Fresno State is behind the chains. You need to win these next 2 downs and force a punt, or at the very least, a very deep field goal.
This 3rd quarter has flown by. 3:15 to go.
They like bubble screens, 2 over 2. Deep here at the bottom.
And that's dropped by Burse. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Well, Utah State's bread and butter is pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterback. They've had some success, but they have to be careful that they don't get beat by the screen game that's been pretty effective for Fresno State tonight when the Aggies have blitzed.
Bulldogs 50% on 3rd downs this evening, 5 out of 10. 3rd down and 10 here.
A lot of confusion.
Matt Wells, yeah, they called timeout. Matt Wells ran down the sideline.
First charge timeout, Utah State.
First time out of the half for the Aggies. 3:01 to go, 3rd quarter. Next Saturday, the Home Depot College Football on CBS puts on the matchup that stands alone. All grit, all guts, all glory. The 114th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. It all begins with college football today. Well, Tim DeRuyter and Matt Wells have known each other for a long time. They were coaches together at Navy from 1999 to 2001. DeRuyter was the defensive coordinator, and Wells held several different positions on the offensive staff: quarterback coach, wide receiver coach, fullback coach. So these two have a great friendship that dates back to the Navy days. Here's the 2000 team picture for the midshipmen. Matt Wells still looks about the same, doesn't he?
But old Tim DeRuyter looks like he's got a little bit more hair back then than he might have today.
Well, those two, they text and talk all the time during the season, but they agreed to shut it down this week. Not too much communication between the two. Carr to the air on third down, incomplete. No flag on the play, and fourth down for the Bulldogs. What do you do here, Aaron Taylor?
Well, considering where you're at and the way that this ball game's been going, I think that Tim DeRuyter likes to be aggressive, but you got to be careful. You got to remember, this is the #1 rated Aggie defense in this conference. You got to be careful here. They're going for it. Here's a great opportunity for the Aggies to come up with a huge turnover.
Let's see if the #1 ranked offense can convert on 4th and 10. They're 2 for 3 tonight on 4th downs. Carr throws. First down. Fresno State.
Andrew, you got to have a lot of confidence in your receiver to throw that football. With Josh Harper out, Isaiah Burse is stepping up big time.
Quick snap, they throw it to Peck. He nearly dropped the football, instead tackled at the 6-yard line. Jake Dowdy makes the stop, but the Bulldogs are knocking on the door with 2.5 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, and a lot of the Aggies with hands on their hips. They got to find a way to bow their neck and hold up here in the red zone. Points are precious in a game like this. And if the Aggies are going to win, once again, their defense is going to have to make a play. Remember the turnover that Dowdy took to the house down here. They've got to be able to draw on that and find a way to somehow do that again.
They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. They hand it to Waller. And he gets right to the sticks. It's going to be very close to a first down. And they're going to mark it just short. So it's 3rd and inches for the Bulldogs, and now a timeout.
Officials timeout for measurement.
They're going to measure. It's either 3rd and short or 1st and goal. Fresno State.
Well, with this situation and the receivers and the mismatches that you've had, we've seen Derek Carr in this offense take shots on the back shoulders and the fades, but also the running game into the boundary on the perimeter.
2 receivers for Carr. Fakes it to Waller, throws end zone looking for Burse, incomplete. Well, let's take a look at the Verizon red zone for the Bulldogs. And Derek Carr in the red zone tonight, 3 out of 7 for 2 touchdowns. 1 to Marcel Jensen, the tight end. 1 to Isaiah Burse, who's over 100 yards receiving on the night. 2nd down, Carr guns it, end zone, caught! Touchdown, Fresno State, Davante Adams. His 23rd of the season, that leads the country.
Andrew, prior to that play, they had really been avoiding Nevin Lawson, but Nevin Lawson playing aggressive and all over. This should have been pass interference.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play, personal foul and necessary roughness. Defense, number 99. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced at the succeeding kickoff. We'll tie for points.
So they'll tack on 15 for the penalty to B.J. Larson. Derek Carr has his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. What a dynamic duo, Carr and Adams. Davante Adams is now 4 touchdowns shy of the FBS single-season record. Keep in mind, Carr threw 2 interceptions in this quarter, got away with both of them, and now he gives the Bulldogs a 24-7 lead. play on that drive, the 4th and 10. DeRuyter goes for it, and Burst brings it in.
I mean, just a perfectly executed fade stop, perfectly located, and then again showing you the touch against pass interference on the Aggies' best defender that the Bulldogs have been staying away from all night. And you see Derek Carr, the emotion, he can taste it. The Mountain West Conference Championship was this team's primary goal heading into the year, and they told us yesterday we were not going to let that loss last week define our season. And in the second half, the Bulldogs are playing like that.
Numbers just incredible for Adams and Carr. For Derek Carr, he now has 111 touchdowns in his career, and a touchdown pass in 32 consecutive games.
Yeah, and he literally has a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio over his career. He just simply doesn't make bad decisions. We've shown him make a couple tonight, some miscommunication and a poorly thrown ball. But all in all, this young man understands this offense as well as Dave Schramm, bald-headed guy there in your screen. But a tremendous player, a tremendous leader, and somebody that really gets a sense that the coaches and players around him are better because of it.
So they'll kick off from the 50. Short little pooch kick fielded by Fackrell at the 21-yard line. And that's where the Utah State offense will come back out onto the field with 1:33 to go in the third quarter. Well, Tuesday on CBS, join superstar Taylor Swift and Fall Out Boy for the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show. Tuesday at 10/9 Central, only CBS. Good story in the Fresno Bee today. Obviously, Derek Carr is gone off to the NFL draft. This is his senior season, and there's also some talk that Davante Adams is going to leave early. He said he won't make a decision until the end of the year. But he's put up mind-boggling numbers this season for the Bulldogs. Garrettson throws on first down to Van Leeuwen, and it's caught at the 30-yard line. Davante Adams, 23 touchdowns. Last week, San Jose State had 13 catches for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns. Marshall finds some room and a first down.
Tell you what, Andrew, you talk about Derek Carr leaving and Davante Adams. There's been some talk that Tim DeRuyter, their head coach, may have his eyes on some of the jobs that are opening up, which would be a shame because he's done a remarkable job with this program with a ton of young talent.
One of the jobs he was linked to was Washington, and what a hire they made, getting Chris Peterson to finally leave Boise State. So now Boise has an opening.
And I was shocked about that. I thought Chris Peterson would never leave that 40-mile green belt there in Boise, but I think at the end of the day, Andrew, it just came down to timing. And that $3.6 million a year probably didn't hurt either.
That's okay. Highest paid coach in the Pac-12. Garrettson throwing, has it to Natson. He's crunched. A sandwich right there as Natson reels it in with 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Listen in. Brandon Hughes, part of that sandwich for the Bulldogs defense, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. Utah State had its chances in that quarter. They picked off Derek Carr twice and came away with 0 points.
This is the end of the third quarter.
1 quarter to go in the inaugural Mountain West Championship game. The Bulldogs have a 24-7 lead. We'll return to the Mountain West Championship game in Fresno after this message and a word from your local station.